Hello and welcome to today's wrap-up call and block busting healing download session. So I am so thrilled that you've decided to join me on this wonderful 8-day abundance challenge. I don't know about you, but I've been able to shed even more layers of blockages, and I always love doing these challenges because it's always an opportunity for me to further explore, utilize, and implement all of these changes in a deeper way into my life. So day one, we started with the day of desire, and I invited you to listen to the Dream Machine meditation and allow yourself to bathe into the energy of desires and the image of your dream life. Now, the Dream Machine, as you might have witnessed, has really three big components, and this is why I love using this tool, and I really enjoy sharing it with you. So then that way you can really get the most out of it. So what the Dream Machine, the three parts of what it does is it helps you to explore, to connect, and really to discover what your authentic desires are. It allows you to bathe in the energy of what it is and what it feels like to already be living that reality. So it helps you to already start vibrating at the frequency of somebody who lives in that reality. And then the third thing that it will help you to do, it will also at some point, depending on how much you practice and how much you use it in your everyday, is sometimes the limiting beliefs, perspectives, or the blockages that you have in regards to being able to acquire or have that dream life will actually come to the surface for you. And if you know anything about me, you know that I'm a big proponent of if you don't know what's wrong, then you can't fix it. So awareness is really the first big tool to just about everything that I do and the approach that I choose. So day one was the day of desire. Day two was the day of dreaming, which is where you get to just hang out in the energy of that. So what you've done is you've awakened your creation vibration and you allow yourself to daydream your way into your new reality. In order for you to attract and align with this dream life, which already exists in one of the millions or trillions or unlimited amount of possibilities that are available to you in the universe, you need to vibrate first at that frequency and then you align to it, which is how you attract it into your current experience. So that's why it's so important to take that day, if you will, to just kind of like bathe in that wonderful, juicy energy. And then day three, I invited you to celebrate. Because the truth is, and I get asked this question all the time, Anik, how do I manifest? And let me give you the big secret about manifesting. Is the reality is you're already creating your reality. That's like my big secret. So you're already manifesting. The trick to manifesting is to manifesting on purpose and not by accident. And so what I love about these different techniques and this different focus is to allow you to create things on purpose and not just some random stuff showing up that you may or may not like. So celebrating is all about you becoming empowered, aware, and acknowledging that, you know what? I manifested this great thing and this great thing and this great thing. So that's what the day of celebration really helps you to do. It helps you to move into your power place, your power position, if you will. Now, we all know that gratitude is the divine attitude, and what you've learned during this 8-day abundance challenge is that it's also a very powerful creator energy. And when you express gratitude for even the little breadcrumbs of your desires as they show up, then you're telling the universe energetically, more of this, please. And so when you do that, it allows you to create more of that abundance in a real way. So becoming mindful and allowing yourself to express gratitude and appreciation for even the little breadcrumbs of the things that you already have, that will help you to expand more of that into your life. On day 5 was the day where we started to start really looking. It was about doing the first or the second part of your reality check workbook, whatever you decided to do, right? So the reality check workbook it helps you to really identify where you are and where you want to be. So it allows you to first and foremost say, this is what I want. This is what I'm creating right now. And the reality check is to help you to identify where's the gap. So that's what that particular worksheet is, to help you to identify where there is a misalignment, because you don't need to fix or change what you're already creating that's working for you. Where we need to focus our time, energy, and effort is the stuff that you're manifesting that is simply out of alignment with what you want to create. So the day 5 awareness is for you to take some time to become aware of everything that you are creating, the good and the struggles, remembering always to be gentle with yourself. So on day 6, I asked you to ask, and this is where you could use the muscle testing questionnaire if you chose to. It would have helped you to identify your limiting beliefs with the limiting belief questionnaire. And I really love that particular tool because sometimes we know better, but then we make choices that don't represent that wisdom. And what that identifies, what that points to, so to speak, is essentially when you know something, but you can't implement it, you can't actually create it into your life, then what it's showing you and telling you is consciously you know it, subconsciously you're not on board. And so your day of asking is more about not just asking the universe for what you want, but it's now about really discovering what's stopping you from aligning with your desired reality, because it already exists energetically. So now the question is, why not? And so day 6 is all about going, okay, so what's really in my way here? Because I'll be completely honest, this is where I catch people. When I've worked with so many people about manifesting abundance. They're stuck between intention and decision. Because once you make a decision, and I know that once you've done this at least once in your life, I hope. Once you make a decision that something is happening, it's like the seas part. And there's nothing that can stand in your way. Whatever it is that you decided is happening, right? So we're deciding those things on purpose and not creating things by accident. So what the question is when we're asking why not, is saying, okay, so if I haven't quite decided yet, what is the block? What is the fear? Because it's usually fear, or it's usually, it falls under a few categories, but fear and unworthiness are basically your hot button items, so to speak. So either you feel guilt or shame or blame or unworthiness of having it, or there's a fear that if I have this, then something bad will happen. Insert fear here kind of thing. So the question really is why am I saying no to this? Is it just the timing, which is very, very seldom? Or is it the bigger reason, which is 95% of the time and not the 5% of the time? And we like to blame it on timing, but it's not usually about the timing. It's usually about us. And so when we can look at what's truly and fully blocking us from manifesting those creations, that's when we start to make and create change. And so day 7 is all about aligning to your creations, which means releasing our blocks and obstacles. And so that's what we're going to do in part 2 of this, in this video. So I'm going to offer you a free quantum alignment healing. And what that means is I'm going to offer you some general block clearings to support you in moving forward towards your goals. And so there's some feedback that I've gotten from this group and other groups and from maybe yourself that I'm going to go ahead and provide that quantum alignment healing. And all you need in order to receive it is to simply close your eyes, take a deep breath, and to say yes. Because what you're doing is consciously you're telling your subconscious, I would like to update this particular software. So if you want to think about your subconscious beliefs, if you will, your subconscious programming as software, sometimes it's not that the software is good or bad, but sometimes it needs to be updated so that it can be in alignment with what you desire now. So the quantum healing that I'm going to be offering you is designed to do that, to help you to upgrade that wisdom. So then that way you can have a template and a new starting point for manifesting your creations. So our day 8 wrap up is all about receiving. And I know a lot of people, myself included, were like, yeah, I'm totally open to receiving from the universe. But then we like follow up with the universe and we check up on the universe to make sure the universe is doing its job. But the truth is if you're still kind of peeking out the window to make sure that the universe is showing up with whatever you ordered from it, then you haven't really let it go and you're not really in a receptive energy. So I want you to kind of think about being open to receive and being in a state of allowing as you sitting back on your couch, just waiting for your friend to show up, instead of like peeking in the window every couple of minutes and texting them, wondering where they are, if they're running a little bit late, that kind of thing. So hopefully that gives you kind of a little bit of an idea and a little bit of insight of what I'm kind of getting at. If we don't fully and completely let it go to the universe to figure out the details for us, then we're still attached, and when we're still attached, we're not in a state of allowing. And what that means is we're also not open to receiving it necessarily. So if you have any challenges with that, do give a shout out to our group. But for the most part, I'm going to be offering that definition, if you will, of a healing, of a program, if you will, in the healing. So get comfy, snuggle up in your chair, in your bed, if you're listening on your phone or on your iPad or on a computer or at work in a little box, whatever. Just get comfortable because we're going to do some healing downloads. We're going to get you in alignment. So take a deep breath and close your eyes. And again, all you need to do is to say yes and allow that energy to flow into you and to be integrated. So first and foremost, would you like to know what it is and what it feels like to be worthy of creating your abundant life? Would you like to know what freedom is, what freedom feels like, and how to apply freedom in every aspect of your life? Would you like to know what it is and what it feels like to be in control of your life and to be the empowered creator of your life? Would you like to know what it is and what it feels like to safely manifest on purpose? Would you like to know what it is and what it feels like to truly and fully recognize everything in your life as your own creations and being empowered by that instead of ashamed by it? Good. Would you like to know what it is and what it feels like to be confident in yourself? To know what it is and what it feels like to recognize your worth and your value? Would you like to know the quantum or the divine definition of what value is? Know how to recognize value, know what it feels like to recognize value, and know how to recognize the value that lies within yourself. So if you would like that, you can say yes. If you'd like to know, and this is great for people that might be looking for a job or a promotion or starting a new career or a new business, would you like to know what it is and what it feels like to recognize your qualifications, your experience, your expertise, and all of your abilities? Would you like to know what it is and what it feels like to recognize and have your worth and value recognized in all of your relationships and all of what you bring into all of your relationships? Would you like to know what it is and what it feels like to have a higher perspective on all of the opportunities that are available to you right now? And would you like to know what it is and how to recognize or how to self-recognize and self-validate yourself without needing an external validation from someone else or from an illness for you to do so? Now, let's do a big purge. So some people sometimes experience kind of emotions coming to the surface when we start to like reorganize. All of the stuff that doesn't fit in our new desired life comes to the surface so we can scrape it off. Kind of like making soup. You know, when you make soup and then you let it sit for a while, all the fat floats to the surface. So what we're going to do is we're going to scrape that fat off, okay? So would you like to release anxiety, anger, resentment, fear, guilt, feelings of rejection, unworthiness, undeserving, being unheard, being unvalued, being unimportant? If you'd like to purge all of those emotions, you can say yes now, and we're going to replace them with love instead. So take a deep breath, and at your own comfortable pace, showing you who you are, how to live your life, and what your life would look like, and how to stay safe without those emotions to hold you back, without those emotions to keep you safe. Now, I'll often say this, but I'll say it again. The current reality that you're living is an accumulation of your past choices. So based on what you're choosing right now, what does your future look like? So to help you to discern between when you're making fear-based choices versus love or desire-based choices, I'm going to do a healing download for you right now. So would you like to know what it is, what it feels like, and how to discern what it is and what it looks like when you're making choices out of fear or out of love? So let's show you what that is, what it feels like, what it looks like, how to know the difference so that you can actually apply that in a real way in your everyday life. Good. So take a nice long deep breath. And whatever else that you're ready to let go of that doesn't fit in the life that you want to design for yourself, just let it go. And if you can't let it go, well, this is where, day 6 ask comes up. It's like, why can't I let it go? Ask why. Why can't I let this feeling go? How is it serving me? What's it doing for me? Because if it wasn't doing anything for you, you would allow yourself to let it go. But sometimes we use negative experiences or negative feelings or trauma or shock or different things to support us. So I'll give you an example of why we do that. So let's say there's a person and they're angry at their father. And they have all of this resentment towards their father because their father, let's say, was mean to them or beat them or something like that. And so this person goes through their life staying resentful and staying angry at their dad. Why? Because that anger and that resentment supports them in making healthy boundaries. It supports them in enforcing healthy boundaries. Because if they let their guard down, if they stop being angry, then the fear is they'll allow that person, in this example, their dad, to hurt them again, right? So that's just like one example. So if there's something that you're hanging on to, that you're like, you know what, I don't like this in my life. This is not something that I want to live with. One of the really powerful questions that you can ask yourself is, what's this really doing for me? Like, you don't hang on to something for no reason. Your subconscious is way smarter than that. It might not feel good on the conscious side, but it has a really good reason. It's keeping you safe. It's keeping you alive. It's doing something for you at some point. It's teaching you something. It's making you stronger. It's doing something. It might be taking the really long, hard way of going about it, but it is achieving something somewhere, somehow, no matter how weird it might be. So what I would invite you to do is, whenever you come across one of those creations, sit down and go, how is this serving me? What's this doing for me? How is this making me a stronger, better person? What characteristics is it forcing me to develop? And just sit silently without looking for an answer, but just allowing that comfortable silence or uncomfortable silence to allow an answer to present itself. And try not to analyze or judge it. Just allow the information to come. Because it's not probably going to feel or be rational, because that's not the subconscious's job. That's your conscious's job. And so at least now, if you know why you're doing it, then you can start to explore a different way of achieving the same goal that doesn't hurt as much, or that's not as difficult for you to live through. So I hope that you have enjoyed this 8-day abundance challenge. I know that I have. I love sharing this experience with you. And just so you know, I'm going to leave all of the materials up for another 8-day until from the end of the 8-day challenge. So if you want to explore, revisit, if you want to start right over, you've got another 8 days to relive that challenge. And so keep sharing, keep participating. The more you use it, the more it works for you. So it's been a pleasure, and stay tuned for more updates. Bye for now.